What can you get for $1 to $2 million in Scottsdale?
Three buyers with the same budget can have completely different lives in the same city. And here's the thing most people don't realize until they've already spent 3 months looking at the wrong stuff entirely. The question is not, what does Scottsdale offer at this price point? The question is, which version of Scottsdale is actually built for your life? Today, I'm breaking down exactly what $1 to $2 million looks like across the entire Scottsdale market. Organized not by geography, but by who you actually are and how you want to live. Welcome to Living in Scottsdale. I'm Charlie O'Malley, 40 years in Scottsdale, 20 years selling real estate here, and I've watched this market at almost every price point. Before we can get into the specifics, I want to give you a framework that will make every single section land immediately. Rather than walking you through neighborhoods like a geography lesson, I want you to think about which of these 5 identities fits your life right now. Identity 1, you want walkable, you want energy, you want too many restaurants and bar options. You want to lock the door and walk to dinner or shopping. Identity 2, you want family community. Bikes on the path, kids on the street, a yard, a pool, a neighborhood that feels alive. You want proximity to schools, parks, grocery stores, and your kids' activities. Identity 3, you want lock and leave, low maintenance, resort amenities, the ability to disappear for 3 months and come back to everything exactly as you left it. Identity 4, you want the insider value play. You've done your research, you want the best price per square foot in the most underrated pocket of the city. Identity 5, you want quiet and views, distance from density, the McDowell Mountains in your windshield, bigger sky, and better light. One of those is you, maybe 2. That's going to determine which sections of this video pay off most for your search. Identity number 1, the walkable energy seeker. If this is you and you want the ability to step outside and be in the middle of everything that Scottsdale is known for, this is your corridor. Old Town and South Scottsdale in the 85251 zip code. This is energy, restaurants, nightlife, the canal, Fashion Square, the art walk, spring training, the weekend scene. This is the most walkable, most alive, most socially dense part of Scottsdale. And at $1 to $2 million, it splits into 2 very different products. First, the condo market. Optimal Camelview Village is the anchor here. Modern architecture, green rooftop gardens, legitimate design, top shelf amenities. You're looking at roughly $1 million for a 2-bed, 2-bath around 1,500 square feet, all the way up to nearly $2 million for a 3-bed, approaching 2,300 square feet. This price point gets you the crown jewel units in this community. Also, the Scottsdale Waterfront residences sit on the canal, 1.2 to 2 million depending on the size and floor. You get water views, walkable access to the waterfront restaurants and shops, everything in Old Town is 5 minutes away, and it has an urban feel that is genuinely unique in the desert. Additionally, the Valley Ho Tower, around 1.1 million for a 2-bedroom. That building has history you can't manufacture in new construction. There's also regular pool parties on the weekend. But here's what most people coming from California or the Pacific Northwest completely miss. There is a legitimate single-family market in South Scottsdale between 1 and 1.5 million, and the value proposition is real. Communities like Scottsdale Estates, Park Scottsdale, and Trail West. 4-bedroom, 3-bath homes approaching 3,000 square feet between 1.1 and 1.4 million. These homes were built in the 50s and 60s, not new construction, but the ones that have been renovated compete with product in North Scottsdale at significantly higher price points. We'll get to those North Scottsdale properties in a moment. The buyer here is typically 35 to 50, coming from a high-cost market. They recognize the bones of these homes: block construction, mid-century character, real lot sizes, mature neighborhoods, and they see what renovation does to the value. The honest trade-off? The neighborhood is mixed. Some blocks are completely transformed. Some are still in transition. Knowing which blocks matter is hyper-local knowledge that makes or breaks the decision. And if you buy in the right pocket, your values can soar. Who is not this buyer? Anyone who values quiet above everything else. Anyone who does not want short-term rentals in their neighborhood. Anyone who wants a gated, private community. Coming up, we move to a neighborhood that splits right down the middle between energy and calm, and a zip code with a secret most agents in this city have never explained properly. Identity number 2, the family community seeker. If you're moving here with kids, or you're moving to put down roots in a real community, this is your section. McCormick Ranch, one of the original master plan communities in Scottsdale. Greenbelts and bike paths running miles through everything. Lakes, mature landscaping, a neighborhood that actually has character. 1 to 2 million here gets you a completely updated 3 to 4 bedroom home with pool, indoor-outdoor living, and a modern kitchen. At the lower end, you may be looking at a home that needs some updating. At the upper end, you're getting something that feels genuinely contemporary. The lifestyle surrounding McCormick Ranch is central Scottsdale at its most balanced. Not far from Old Town, not far from the 101, not far from North Scottsdale. It's close to restaurants without being in the middle of the chaos. A lot of buyers land here after they have looked at both ends of the spectrum and realized they want the middle. HOA exists, but it's generally reasonable. Rules are there, curb appeals maintained, no purple houses, but it's not the intensity of a private club. Just west of McCormick Ranch sits Gainey Ranch, different buyer entirely. This is retirees, snowbirds, and lock and leave buyers. More gated, more HOA intensity, more attached product. The Hyatt Regency and Gainey Country Club are right there. 1 to 1.4 million gets you townhomes between 1,800 and 2,600 square feet. If your lifestyle is about maintaining the home rather than using it, Gainey's not your move. If your lifestyle is about arriving, enjoying, and leaving again with nothing to worry about, Gainey will work beautifully. We also have Scottsdale Ranch, which is the value play nobody mentions. So this is a bonus area that almost never comes up in conversations. Scottsdale Ranch in 85260. It's got families, great central location, a little off the beaten path, but very well connected. And the square footage per dollar is genuinely compelling. $1 million gets you a 3-bed, 3-bath at 2,300 square feet. 1.5 gets you a 4-bed, 3-bath at 3,000 square feet. 1.7 gets you 5 bedrooms at 3,200 square feet. Did I also mention that there are lakefront properties in Scottsdale Ranch? Communities like Desert Sage, Casa Privada, Briarwood North. This is not the flashiest address in Scottsdale, but it is a genuinely strong value in a convenient location for families who are not buying for the name. On to identity number 3, the lock and leave luxury buyer. This one is for the buyer I talked to recently who stopped me when I started naming private golf community options. He said, I don't play golf, I don't want a house, I don't want a yard, I want a penthouse, a terrace, resort amenities attached to my front door, and I want to be able to lock up and leave for 3 months. That buyer exists in large numbers right now. Baby boomers are downsizing now that their kids are gone. They want to give up the space, but not the luxury feel. Scottsdale and neighboring Paradise Valley now has real product for them. At the entry point of this price range, 1.9 to 2 million, you have the Ascent at the Phoenician Camelback Residences. Resort amenities from one of the most iconic properties in Arizona attached to your home. This is what the lock and leave luxury buyer is looking for. The Scottsdale Waterfront Residences also play here at the top of the range, 2.2 to 2.7 for the premium units. Canal views, Old Town walkability. And here's what matters for this buyer. Above $2 million, the product gets dramatically more remarkable. Ascent goes to nearly $10 million. The Ritz Carlton residences in Paradise Valley, Silverleaf condos at DC Ranch go north of $7 million. If your budget goes above $2 million in the attached luxury space, that is a conversation worth having directly. Now we jump to the zip code that insiders actually fight over. No HOA, large lots, Scottsdale address. That combination is not supposed to exist. This is identity number 4, the insider value play buyer. This is the one I've been waiting to tell you about, 85254. They call it the magic zip code around here. And once you understand why, you won't forget it. I grew up in this zip code, so it has a special place in my heart. One interesting part about 85254 is it's a Scottsdale address but sits inside Phoenix jurisdiction, which means lower taxes than the rest of the Scottsdale zip codes. 1.2 to 2 million in 85254 gets you a completely renovated single-family home on a large lot in a mature, established neighborhood with great schools nearby. And here's the part that genuinely surprises almost every out-of-state buyer. It's got no HOA. In Scottsdale, on a large lot, completely renovated between 1.2 and 2 million with no HOA. That is not a typo. 85254 has a significant number of properties that predate the HOA era. Large lots, mature landscaping, Scottsdale address, and proximity to everything in the Kierland corridor and Scottsdale corridor, without anyone telling you what color you can paint your shutters. For the buyer who wants the single-family lifestyle without HOA overhead and restrictions, this is one of the best-kept secrets in the valley. The secret is starting to get out. Now the condo option in this area. Optima Kierland is your primary condo product here. 1.2 to roughly 2 million for 1 to 2 beds between 1,500 and 1,600 square feet. The location is the product. You're attached to Kierland Commons, across the street from the Scottsdale port. Walk to dinner, walk to the gym, walk to the shops. Plaza Lofts at Kierland, Landmark, these also play in this corridor. Different scale, different feel, same access advantage. The buyer here is someone who wants curated, walkable energy without the old town intensity. More snowbirds, more 55 plus buyers, more professionals who value access over space. Moving further north now. This is where Scottsdale starts to breathe. Views open up, density drops, and the product at this price point completely changes character. This is identity number 5, the just give me my peace and quiet and slap a view on it buyer. If you want space, privacy, and the mountains in your windshield, we'll head north of the 101 to the 85255 zip code. This is where inventory is the deepest. 85255 has nearly 100 active single-family listings between $1 and $2 million right now. The deepest inventory of any submarket in this video. At $1 million, you're getting into communities like McDowell Mountain Ranch. You can get a 3-bed, 2-bath, around 2,200 square feet. It's an established community, mountain views beginning to emerge, family infrastructure fully in place. At 1.4 to 1.5 million, this is where North Scottsdale single family really hits its stride. Wingate Ranch at 1.4 million gives you 4 beds, 3-bath, over 3,000 square feet. It's gated, newer construction, one of the most family-centric micro markets in North Scottsdale. Homes that would push 2.5 million in a comparable California market. At 1.6 to 1.8 million, you're into Greyhawk, Sonoran Hills, and the entry level of DC Ranch. 4 to 5 bedrooms, 3,000 to 3,700 square feet. Desert landscapes, mountain backdrops, community infrastructure that has been built and proven over decades. At 1.9 to 2 million, you get into Troon Village, Sereno Canyon, the top of McDowell Mountain Ranch. 4+ bedrooms, over 4,000 square feet in some configurations. North Scottsdale address that has been one of the most consistently desirable in the valley for over 30 years. Here's the community breakdown. McDowell Mountain Ranch is your best value play at this price point. Master planned, well-maintained, great schools, the 101 nearby for commuters. Greyhawk delivers a slightly more private feel with golf access. Wingate Ranch is the newer construction option if that matters to you. DC Ranch, even at entry level, 1.5 to 1.6, gives you the most prestigious address in this price range with the gated golf community infrastructure to match. The views from North Scottsdale at sunset are something no description does justice. That alone drives a significant portion of this buying decision. Perhaps you want the North Scottsdale peace and quiet, but don't want to hire a pool guy and a landscaper. We've got you. The condo market up here has completely changed in the last 3 years. Batavia gives you 2,200 to over 3,000 square feet between 1.3 and 1.8 million. 4 bedrooms in some configurations. House size square footage and a lock and leave product. Portico is similar, 2,700 to nearly 3,000 square feet between 1.3 and 1.9 million. And then there's Optima McDowell Mountain, brand new, the most architecturally ambitious new condo product in North Scottsdale right now. It's got rooftop amenities, modern design, desert views, health and wellness focus. 1.4 to over 3 million depending on the unit. This is the project that a buyer coming from San Francisco or Seattle recognizes immediately as serious architecture. It looks like something that belongs in a world-class city with desert views instead of a city skyline. One more, and this is the identity that has grown the most in the last 5 years and is reshaping entire parts of this market. All right, 5 identities, multiple price points, a lot of product to choose from. Let me simplify it into 3 questions for you. Question 1, what is your relationship with maintenance? 0, I want nothing to do with it. You're a condo buyer. Optima Campbellview, Waterfront, Kierland, McDowell Mountain, Portico, Batavia. Lock the door and go. I want a yard, a pool, outdoor space I actually use. You're single family. McCormick Ranch, Scottsdale Ranch, 85254 or north of the 101 into 85255. Question 2, where in the energy spectrum do you actually live? Old Town walkability on one end, North Scottsdale quiet on the other. Most buyers say they want both. They usually end up somewhere in the middle. Kierland in 85254 is that middle for the condo buyer. McCormick Ranch is that middle for the single family buyer. Question 3, are you buying for a chapter or the whole book? Family with kids at home, McCormick Ranch or DC Ranch entry. Empty nesters thinking about the next chapter, 85254 single family or Kierland condo. Full downsizers done with maintenance, Optima or Waterfront, or starting to look above $2 million at Ascent and the Ritz Carlton product? Those 3 questions will tell you more about where you belong in this market than 6 months of Zillow browsing. 1 to 2 million in Scottsdale is not one market. It's 5 completely different markets operating simultaneously. And the right one for you has nothing to do with which one looks best on Instagram or Zillow photos. It has everything to do with how you actually want to live. I've watched buyers spend months looking at the wrong product because nobody sat down with them early enough and asked the right questions. That is a waste of your time and your energy on what should be one of the best decisions of your life. If you're serious about this move, reach out. My contact information is in the description. We'll spend the time it takes to find the version of this market that fits your life. That conversation is free. Getting it wrong is not. If you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe for honest Scottsdale content every week. Drop a comment below. Which of these 5 identities sounds like your life? I read every one. I'm Charlie O'Malley. As always, thank you for watching Living in Scottsdale, and I'll see you in the next one.